Child's Glacier, when it used to calve, it was one of the wonders of the world. You'd sit there and it was only about a quarter mile across the Copper River, and you could watch these 300-foot towers fall in the water. And we used to just drive out and do that, but now it doesn't happen anymore. So there's a lot of things that are diminishing. When I go out for a walk, I'm looking for things to paint. But as far as the changes that it represents, I mean, every time I go out there, there's a difference in that glacier. And this is on a day-by-day basis now. I've worked for a long time with scientists in different places, all the way from here in Alaska to Antarctica and Greenland. And the art adds to the science part of it because it illustrates, you can see in paintings of mine the progression from over the years that I've seen the ice retreat. There has been an overall warming that's been occurring, but the recent warming is unprecedented. It's occurring much faster. So you can't just dismiss it as cyclical, natural global warming.
When we see images of the glaciers retreating and when we hear stories of how our planet is changing so much more quickly than we ever anticipated, that we really need to consider, how am I a part of this system? How are my values? How is my ideology? How is my lifestyle affecting this? Because we are part of the whole.
The Copper River Delta is a 700,000 acre wetland. It's a huge wetland, and it's equivalent to a state, maybe Massachusetts or something to that effect. Not only is the Delta amazing for what it is, but it's also part of this big picture. If you think about this wetland, it's the grocery store for Cordova. Within there, you have all these different wildlife species that use it, and so it's an enchanting place. It's just so full of life. It's pretty interesting what this wetland provides for people as well.
Why should anyone care about something that isn't in their immediate vision or their immediate circle? Is that it's all connected. When you zoom out, you can see the connections between the glaciers, the rivers, the species that live within them, right? You can see that, and then you can see why it's important. The second that you zoom out, it's just a change in perspective.
Ice has a huge effect on our planet and for our overall climate. All this time I've been watching the glaciers and painting them and looking at the changes, and in my paintings I realized I was chronicling this whole end of the Ice Age. From the standpoint of an artist whose subject is glaciers, it means that my subject is diminishing. It's kind of sad.
And the upper part of the delta that permeates through those ponds is fed by glacial systems. And so when you have a lot of input with the water, there's a lot of water in those water tables. Once glaciers recede enough that they're not melting in, you don't have that water input into the systems, you're going to end up with a drying, and some of these wetlands are going to disappear. People come to places like this and think they're pristine and untouched, but people are part of this landscape. And I think sometimes people from other places, they don't understand how much these places are part of the lives of the people who live here. They get out and they use them. They're important for them. And I think they, for the most part, people really respect the wetlands out here.
People do have, it seems, this innate desire to take themselves out of the landscape or take themselves out of the equation when that's impossible. One of the most important jobs for the foreseeable future is taking what we know and helping people understand how to act upon that knowledge. We have known that climate change has been happening for a very long time. So the problem then is, how do you take that knowledge and get people to act in a way that aligns with that knowledge, that kind of gets us out of this mess that we're in right now.